What's up? This is Mark D. Sanchez, and we're going to visit McMurdo Station, aka Antarctica City. It is a New Zealand claimed territory off the Ross Shelf near the McMurdo Sound, where it gets its name from, but it is run by the United States Antarctic Program as a branch of the National Science Foundation, and it holds around 1,300 residents and serves as one of 3 United States Antarctic science facilities. All personnel and cargo headed to or coming from Amundsen Scott, that is the geographic South Pole station, must pass through McMurdo. Either going to the South Pole or coming from the South Pole, you have to pass back through there by regulations, and it is about 3 kilometers or 1.9 miles from New Zealand's smaller Scott base. Now, this site back in 1962 on March 3rd had a nuclear power plant, a portable nuclear power plant brought by the U.S. Navy in 1962. They were 8 foot 8 inches by 8 foot 8 inches and had a core about the size of a 50-gallon drum. And these produced 1.8 megawatts of electrical power and replaced the need for 1,500 U.S. gallons of oil daily. Now, they were used for some time until hairline cracks in the reactor and actual water leaks, contaminated water leaks, and they were decommissioned by the Army Nuclear Power Program in 1972. And they have since been replaced back to the conventional diesel generators that produce 500 kilowatts, 670 horsepower diesel generators, and a central powerhouse providing the electrical power. A conventionally fueled water distillation plant provides the fresh water for all the residents, which is around 1,300. As of 2007, McMurdo Station became Antarctica's largest community and a functional modern-day science station, including a harbor, 3 airfields, 2 of them are seasonal, a heliport, and more than 100 buildings, including the Albert P. Carey Science and Engineering Center. The station is also home to the continent's 2 ATMs. In the entire continent, 2 ATMs exist, and it is home to both of them. Both were provided by Wells Fargo Bank. The work done at the station primarily focuses on science, of course, but most of the residents, approximately 1,000 average in the summer and around 250 in the winter, are not scientists, but station personnel provide support for operation, logistics, information technology, construction, and maintenance. So it's saying roughly 1,000 of the 1,300 aren't actual scientists. That's a little, that doesn't make sense to me. Once a year, cargo ships as part of Operation Deep Freeze delivers 8 million U.S. gallons of fuel and 11 million pounds of supplies and equipment. The ship's operated by the U.S. Military Sealift Command and is manned by civilian mariners. The cargo ranges from mail, construction materials, trucks, tractors, dry and frozen food, scientific instruments. U.S. Coast Guard icebreakers actually break a channel through the ice-clogged McMurdo Sound to break a path through the ice to get to the station once a year. Additional supplies and personnel are flown in to nearby Williams Field in Christchurch in New Zealand. Being as large as it is, McMurdo Station has had to improve on its environmental management and waste removal to adhere to the Protocol on Environmental Protection of the Antarctic Treaty that was signed October 4th, 1991, which entered into force January 14, 1998. This agreement prevents development and provides for the protection of Antarctic environment through 5 specific annexes on marine pollution, fauna and flora, environmental impact assessment, waste management, and protected areas. It prohibits all activities relating to mineral resources except for scientific purposes. A new waste treatment facility was built in 2003. 3 Intercon E-33 wind turbines were developed in 2009 to power McMurdo, a New Zealand Scott base, reducing diesel consumption by 11% of 463,000 liters per year. McMurdo Station, named MacTown by its residents, continues to operate as the hub for American activities on the Antarctic continent. This station gained some global notice when an anti-war protest broke out on February 3rd in 2003, during which 50 scientists and station personnel gathered to protest the coming invasion of Iraq by the United States. McMurdo Station was the only Antarctic location to hold such a rally. Now, on the temperature of the area where they're at, protected by the Transantarctic Mountains and the interior of Antarctica, they do have an average below freezing temperature throughout the year. However, in December and January, it's actually above freezing. The highest temperature was 10.8 degrees Celsius, which is about 52 degrees Fahrenheit, which was reached on December 21st, 1987, was the warmest day at McMurdo. It's actually warm enough that during those 2 months of December and January, snow can melt and actual vegetation can grow, specifically a few different species of moss. Okay, that's enough reading from Wikipedia. From what I see, they have over 100 buildings. They house over 1,300 people. And over 50 years ago, they were using 1,500 gallons of fuel, oil, diesel fuel, daily, and switched to nuclear and had cracks and leaks in that, and then went back. So I'm just going to have to assume that the 1,500 gallons of fuel daily is a lot more now than it was 50 years ago. The base is obviously a lot bigger now, and a lot more people now than it was during this 1970s era. So, as far as I'm concerned, that's a lot of fuel being used, a lot of ground being left uncovered with snow. I'm sure everything is kept clear of snow, which draws in more heat, which is not good for the ice. So that's my thoughts on it. It's a pretty big operation, and you can't really say what all they are or aren't doing because they've already been forced to clean up their act, deal with their waste management, and it seemed like they may have been cited for mining for minerals, which isn't allowed under the treaty, which goes back to Concordia. They obviously look like they're mining for something red, but they must be calling it scientific. But anyway, I think that this is a growing community. It seems to be getting larger and using more and more power, keeping more and more land clear to snow, which would draw more and more heat. So, my thoughts on it is that it's starting to get a little out of hand. They're starting to drift more towards overlooking a lot of the laws that were signed in the treaty in 91, and they didn't start enforcing it till 98. So I think it needs to be cut back on. They need to work more on the the wind power that they invented, that would work out there in the cold temperatures in 2009. They cut back some of their fuel use, but I think they could do a lot better at it. And it's a very large place, and it only seems to be growing. Well, this is Mark D. Sanchez. I'm out. Let me know what you think about it. Leave me a comment. I'll see y'all on the next one. Okay, if you sat through this video this long, I'm going to need you to let me know, did you like the video I did before this, or I just let sounds play and I subtitled everything, or did you like me doing the voiceover? So just let me know that in the comments.